There are moments in history when the world looks at the battlefield and sees only defeat. When the enemy is too many, the darkness too deep, and hope feels impossibly far away. The people hid in caves, their fields burned, their homes taken, their future stolen. Generation after generation living under fear. And then, God chose a warrior, not a king, not a conqueror, not a legend. A farmer, a man hiding from his enemies, a man who doubted himself. Because destiny does not always call the strongest. Sometimes it calls the willing. The armies gathered, thousands stood ready for war, but victory would not belong to numbers. One by one, the crowd disappeared, the fearful left, the uncertain turned back, until only 300 remained. 300 men against an empire, against a sea of warriors, against impossible odds. And yet, the battle was never about strength, it was about faith. The night grew silent. The enemy slept, certain of victory, certain that dawn would belong to them. But destiny was already moving across the mountains, through the darkness, between the shadows. Then, the jars shattered, the fire appeared, the trumpets roared across the valley, and fear entered the hearts of kings. Chaos consumed the mighty, the proud were broken, the oppressors fled. Not by sword, not by power, not by numbers, but by courage, by obedience, and by promise.
We must hold them off.
Because every generation faces its own battle, its own giants, its own impossible mountain. And every generation must decide, will fear lead the way or faith? The story of Gideon was never about war. It was about believing when victory seems impossible, standing when everyone else walks away, moving forward when logic says retreat, trusting when you cannot see the outcome. Because sometimes the greatest victories begin with the smallest step, and the weakest man becomes the strongest story. Remember this, you do not need to be the strongest. You do not need to be the smartest. You do not need to be the most powerful. You only need the courage to answer the call. And when your moment comes, stand, believe, move forward, and let history remember
And so they
what
fled
faith
the ashes of their
can do.
home, seeking a new promised land.